Okay, this is when this starts to get fun. We've done the hard work of analyzing the market, looking at the trends, then creating a business with 4-point strategy that took advantage of those trends. Now we get to execute the plan, and you get to become successful in the free market system, providing a product and service in competition and not only competing but winning. So hang on, grab a piece of paper, sit down. This is where it gets really fun. Okay, so to get started, I have to introduce our Videri commission structure, and we are excited about it. Number one, as far as I know, we're the only company that actually takes the time to sit down and point blank explain the commission structure. That's consistent with one of our core values, which is transparency and integrity. We want you to see how it works. And we can do that because we did it right, and we're really proud of it. It's very unique. It's actually built to bring hope to people. It's not built to make a few investors ultra rich. That's a major differentiation. The Videri commission structure, several points. Number one, it sells beef at a price point that actually dominates in the market. That cannot be understated. Number two, it makes all, and when I use the word all, I mean it. All IBOs profitable immediately. That is also a massive differentiator that I'll put a little bit of time into and explain a little bit later. It's front-end loaded. What do I mean by front-end loaded? We give the biggest chunk of the percentage to the brand new person. So the single mom at a soccer club who tells a few friends about it, they go to the website, buy some beef. She doesn't handle the money. She doesn't the profit. She doesn't handle the product. She doesn't handle the money, but she actually makes a profit. That's exciting. Number three, it has incredible recruitment retention opportunities. If people are actually profitable, there won't be this constant turnover of people in and out. It rewards those who do the work. I mentioned to you earlier that you could actually make more money than me even though I got started earlier than you. That is a reality. And the truth is you have me helping you, and I want you to. So not only me, but other people on the team as well. That's a very big deal. Now notice the last point is highlighted. This is the most significant statement I have to say in this entire presentation. If we build this business correctly, if you build this business correctly, there is no one who loses money. There are no losers. And I'm going to show you mathematically and scientifically how that's possible and what sacrifices we made to make that probable. But that is a big, big statement. Okay, here we go. To understand, we have to get started with 2 concepts, 3 definitions, and 1 deal. We just have to get our language down so that we can communicate accurately. Okay, we'll start with the 2 concepts. 2 concepts, where does the money come from? I'm about to show you how you can be profitable in the business. And the first question comes, where does this money come from? Okay, real quick, big concept. We are getting beef from a supplier to consumers. By doing that, we're eliminating all the middlemen. When we eliminate the middlemen, we eliminate expensive real estate property. We eliminate inventory. We eliminate employees. We eliminate workman's comp, sick time, lawsuits, HR departments. We eliminate all sorts of advertising costs. All those costs that were associated with the industrial age distribution system, we eliminate. So instead of doing that, and we don't advertise, we pay you for word-of-mouth advertising. We pay the team for driving traffic to the website. So that's where the money comes from. The big picture is, if we sell $100 a product cost, $25 comes back to the whole team. So that's where the money comes from. And if you split up 25% of all the beef sales, that's a lot of money. As a quick review, beef is a $105 billion industry, less than 1% direct sold. So let's just take a wild, over-exaggerated guess and say we could take 2%. 2% would be what, $2 billion. If we sold $2 billion, 25% of $2 billion would be $500 million a year to be split up with individuals like you and I who did go into the marketplace, did compete, did disrupt the industry, and did win. That's exciting. That's where the money comes from. Second concept, how do you make sales or recruit people? Well, number one, if you have a job to do, I would use the tools. I mean, if I had to dig a ditch and I had a choice, I would rather not use a shovel. I would rather use a backhoe. So how would I do it if I were you? I would use the tools. I would use the website. I would use this video. Rather than telling everybody everything yourself, maybe send them the video and ask them to take a quick look at it. I would use social media. We are going to give you so many tools that you can be effective. Now, when all you have to do is get people to look at the website. If they look at the website, they may choose to become an IBO. They may choose to buy the beef. And if they do, you don't have to handle the money. You don't have to handle the product. Okay, so those are the two concepts. We good on that? Let's go to the three definitions. The first definition is the term product cost. Notice that we have a product cost of $100. We're going to say, for our example, it's $100. Product cost is what it costs us for the product. It's what it costs us to purchase it, package it, process it, get it on the doorstep in a box, ready to go out by UPS. That's our product cost. Okay, and again, what's not in product cost? Question, any profit for the investors. There's no profit for the investors. That is a huge statement. Now, there's another cost. It's called retail cost. This is the cost you see on the internet. Notice that what we did is we took the $100 product cost and we added a 25% commission. Well, that's what we pay you. So what we would actually see on the internet would be a cost of $125. You guys with me? Pretty simple math, right? Now, here's where the challenge comes in. If you had $125 on the retail cost and you sold it and everybody thought they were going to get 25% of $125, what actually happens? 25% of $125 is actually $31.25, which is more than the $25, which doesn't give us enough money to cover our costs. Basically, we would be paying commission on commission. And that would drive our price point where we couldn't sell our product. So we need you to understand that when you get your commission, it's going to be based off the product cost, not the retail cost, which will be just a little bit less. So if you have any questions on that, we have it all written out on the website. But again, our core value is transparency and integrity. So here I am explaining to you what may be a frustration for you if you don't understand it. Okay, so those are definition number 3 is a simple concept. We just picked it out of thin air. We call it a commission point is $250. So if you or your team sells $250 of product, you get a commission point. If you sell 500, how much do you get? $250. If you sell 100, you get like 0.4 or 0.45 or something like that. So a commission point is just a way to make the scale work. So there you go. There's our 2 concepts and our 3 definitions. What is our one deal? Our one deal, I already mentioned it, is that 25% of all the product costs, not the retail, but the product costs, comes back to the entire Videri IBO team to share. Okay, so by now you should have a big idea of where the money comes from, how it's now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that money gets split up. How does that 25% get split up? How much do you get? How much does your friend get? How much does their friend get? And this is where it gets really fun. Okay, here we go. There's the masterpiece, Videri commission structure. The fact that we even put that up there should blow your socks off. I give you a great challenge. Go to any other direct market company and see if you can find a direct picture of their commission structure, and I will bet you anything that you can't do it. They hide it, they use terms, they use all sorts of things to keep it vague. We're proud of ours. Ours is beautiful. It's simple linear algorithm. And so let's go through this just one step at a time. I'm going to slow down a little bit so that you understand the math. Notice across the top there's 2 definitions. There's a definition. First of all, it says given. One commission point is defined as $250 product sales. That was just our 3rd definition. That's nothing new. The deal with the IBOs, that's our deal. 25% of the product sales come back in total commissions. Okay, so notice. When you look at graphs, please forgive me if we're all starting from scratch. When you go across, those are called rows. When you go up and down, those are called columns. Down on the bottom, there's 4 columns. You all with me? Go to the far left column. Those are called commission accounts. There's 24 of them. Notice 1 of 24, 2 of 24. Basically, when a sale happens, and let's say we sell $1,000 worth of products. That means that $250 comes back to the whole team. Guess what? That $250 essentially gets split into 24 different accounts or little checks that all go out looking for who deserves them. So those are just 24, 1 to 24. Go to the next column. It says the minimum total CP. CP is commission points to qualify. So to get the first commission points, you have to have a total commission points of 0. Well, everybody has that, so whoever sells qualifies for that. And notice it goes clear down to 150,000. Then if you look over next one, it says percent of product sales. Notice that 10% of the product cost or the sales goes to the person with 0 total commission points. That's awesome. Which, if you go one more, is 40% of the total commission. We gave 40% of the commission to the person who made the sale. I'm telling you, I have personal experience of building a pretty large network market with another company, and the first layer was 3%. Anyway, this is pretty significant. Okay, so if you don't, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a quick 4-month example where we apply the commission, and trust me, by the end of this, you're going to totally get it. Okay, here we go. Before to explain it, what we basically did is we took the commission structure and laid it on its side. Notice that what you see here is the same thing. Commission accounts, do you see 1 through 14? Notice that it only goes to 14 because on a TV, I can't do all 24, or it would get so small you couldn't read it. So there are 10 more. We only show the first. And then the minimum CP to qualify and percent commission. So it's the exact same graph, just laid on its side. So here we go. Before we start with the actual example, I need to focus your attention to make sure we don't miss the forest for the trees, okay? It's important to understand the math. But the reality is sometimes to understand math, it takes more than a quick 5-minute explanation. So if the math gets confusing, that's okay. Look at this a couple times. You'll get it, I promise you, or set up an appointment with me or one of the leaders, and we'll sit down at a coffee shop, and we'll make sure you get it. But what's important is you get the 3 most important things. Number 1, this is a very real business. Do not fool yourself. Just because it didn't cost you $100,000 to buy into the program, there is very, very real potential. Number 2, it allows you to work hard and smart. Now, how many people are just busy? Just absolutely so busy they don't have time for anything else. Well, I'm here to tell you, if that's your situation, if you don't change something, how busy are you going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? This is your chance to do something slightly different that can change that reality of your life. Working smart is critical. And number 3, again, what was the most important thing we had to talk about? No losers. That is huge to me. No losers. Okay, so here we go. Month 1, you become a Videri IBO. Congratulations. How do you become a Videri IBO? You go to the website, videri.biz, and you sign up. Somebody sent you there, so you have a sponsor. Behind your name, you will forever get a computer code, so everything you do ad infinitum, in perpetuity, you get credit for. That is awesome. You will never start at 0 ever again, ever. Okay? You're going to get full access to tools. We spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of tools that are instantly available to you to build your business, training, all sorts of things. We stand by ready to help, and you go out and you start building your business. Well, how do you build your business? You share the website with people you know, you send out a social media link, you talk to a few people, and lo and behold, you sell $2,000 worth of product. Somebody goes on the internet and buys some steaks here and some hamburger there and some fajita meat there, and at the end of the month, you go onto your dashboard and like, wow, I sold $2,000, which happens to be 8 CP, okay? Now, that's what we're going to use as our model. Now, let's be realistic. Not everybody's going to sell 2,000. Some will sell 10,000, some will sell nothing, but I don't know if we're going to average 2,000 forever, but for right now, let's just use that for the math. I think it works really good. I think it's a reasonable number. Okay, so what happens with that? Okay, so let's go to our chart of accounts. Do you remember this chart of accounts? Do you see on the top 3 rows, all it is a review of what we had before, but now look below. You see something that says your personal sales. You have a personal sales of $2,000, which is 8 CP. Okay, now look what happens. This is really exciting. Step 1, all the way across there, it puts numbers in those commission accounts. In commission account number 1 at the bottom, $200. In commission account number 2, $20 and $20 and $20. And it goes over to $10. And if you were to follow it all the way up to 24, it eventually gets down to like $2.50. Okay, so now look what happens. You look at your 8 CP on the bottom left, right here, and you go up to the top scale. Did you qualify for 0? Yes, I did. I get that one, so put a yellow there. Did I sell 3? Yes, I did. Put a yellow there. Did I sell 6? Yes, I did. Put a yellow there. Did I sell 10? Nope, you didn't qualify for 10. So you highlight those 3, which highlights those. You get to keep the $200, the $20, the $20. You made $240. That's what you qualified for. You see that? It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so here's the review of your business. Here's your business review. There's one person in your business, 8 CPs or $2,000 were sold, which created a total of $500 commission, which you got to keep $240, which is $2,800 a year. You got to keep 48% of the total commission, 48%. Well, let me ask you something. I told you that we were going to analyze this business by 3 standards. Number 1, were you profitable? Okay, let's be honest. $240 a month is not a big deal for most people. But you did something that is massive. You literally crossed the abyss from a trading time and hours lifestyle. You went into the marketplace with a product, you had a business plan, you had a system behind you, you competed and you made a profit. And now you are sitting in a completely different vehicle ready to take off. It is a huge deal. You're one of the very few people in the United States that will ever once in their lifetime make a profit as a business owner. Now here's what I want to tell you just real fast. You are sitting so good you have no idea. Number 1, why don't people go into business for their own selves? Usually it requires a tremendous amount of capital. You don't know capital required here. Number 2, it usually requires a tremendous amount of time. You might have to give up your full-time job. We're not asking you to give up your full-time job. We're asking for an hour here, an hour there, working smart. Number 3, most people don't know what to do in business. You don't have to know what to do in this business. You just have to be teachable. We've created the whole system for you. Number 4, you are now scalable. So what I'm going to tell you is it would be a very, very uneducated, ignorant person to say that that is not a successful business. At this point, that's a fantastically successful business. No employees, no debt, no overhead, no commitment to real estate, no long-term commitment to consultants or lawyers or but yet you have all those services sitting at your fingertips. Your biggest problem is you may not understand what you have your hands on, and all I can offer you is just because it didn't cost you anything to have this opportunity doesn't mean it didn't cost others. Several people have sacrificed tremendously and millions of dollars for you to make that first $2,000. Okay, enough of the attitude. So month number 2, you want to expand your business. Isn't that what all businesses are? They have a product or service that they want to compete. They go into the marketplace and they try to expand their influence. Okay, so how are we going to do it? You go into business and you sell 2,000 again. But this time you're thinking, I don't really want to go door to door. I don't really want to have 1,000 customers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to franchise myself and I'm going to teach other people to be successful business owners. Now, how are you going to do that? Using the tools. And who are these people? I don't know. These are people you know. These are people that not everybody you know is going to be interested, but there's some people out there. Who's driving Uber? Let me ask you, who just wakes up and says, I would just love to dine after I get off work to drive around circles in the city for 5 more hours for $100? They're doing it because people are desperate for a few extra dollars. Their kids need to save for college education. They need to save for retirement. They have dentist bills. Their kids need braces. There are people who are on their knees right now looking for opportunities financially, and you now have an answer for them. So they do what you did. So now look what happens. They each sell 8 CP, so you get credit for 72. Okay, this is where it gets fun. So let's look at the graph. Notice it grew a little bit, didn't it? You have the same commission across the top, but now you have your personal sales. But notice that each friend is loaded as well. Look at chart number 1. There's $1,800 to be shared with your team. That's a lot of money. In chart number 2, it's 180. In chart number 3, it's 180. So now the question is, how much do you get to keep and how much goes to other people? So step number 1 in all this is to load the chart of accounts. That's loaded. Step number 2 is to find out what you qualify for. You're yellow. So you go down here in the bottom, 72. You go across the top, you qualified for 50, but not for 100. You follow me? Color all that yellow. That's all yours, right? Well, no, there's one more step to this, and that's to give your team their cut. So here's the next step. Guess what they're going to do? Each one of your 8 qualified for 036, so they get the 8. What you get is you get to keep everything in yellow that's not in green. So out of that 1,800, you keep 200. 20, 20, 20, and notice that they're profitable. They're getting to keep theirs. Okay, so let's do a quick review. At the end of this month, there's 9 people in your business. There's 72 CP sold. You made basically $780, which is $9,360 a year, and your friends who now are green, you're yellow, your friends are green, they made $240 and $2,800. Now, notice last month you made 48% of all the money. This month you made 17%. Did you get a bad deal? No, your percent went down, your total went up. Let me please share a huge business concept to you. It is better to get a small percent of a big sale than a big percent of a small sale. Every time, and what do most of us do? We get a big percent of our job, which is small, and if we don't show up, it goes to zero. Nobody else goes there. We don't get anything. Okay, so let's analyze our business. Number one, are you profitable? Yes. An extra $10,000 a year can change a lot of people's lives. Number two, did you work hard and smart? Let me show you something here, guys. Let's say you work 10 hours, but all your 8 people work 10 hours. You have 90 hours going into your business, but you only work 10. When's the last time that happened for you? That is working brilliant. Some of those people have skills you don't have. Some of them are fantastic orators. Some of them have relationships you don't have. Some of them are leaders in civic groups, so they have tremendous amount of impact. You now allowed yourself to utilize resources with other people and work as a team for your income, which puts you in very, very rare air. And number three, correctly, are there any losers? Nope. Your friends made money. Everybody's happy. Okay? All right, month number three. Notice that you do your thing, your friends, but each of your friends did what you did last month. Now, notice that your friends all have 72 units and you have 58. So again, here we go. We go to the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts just lists your 8 friends. Notice you have your personal that loads it. They have their 72. There's 584 units that you get credit for. Check out commission number one. There's $14,600 in commission number one to be split with. This is starting to get significant. So step one is complete. The chart of accounts is complete. Step number two, highlight yours in yellow. 584. Look how far you're going down the screen now. Look how far you're going down the screen. You're clear down here at 500 units, but now you subtract out your people. Okay, do you see how that works? But there's actually one more step. Now here at this point, your income is settled. It only makes a difference between you and your green friends. But guess what your green friends are doing? They're sharing theirs with their red buddies. You see how that works? So it's very simple math, very simple algorithm. Okay, so let's look at it. This time you've got yellow, green, and red. You are now making $56,000 a year. Your percentage goes down again to 13%. The new people are in business. They're expandable. They have a model ready to go. They're ready to move it. Your friends are making $10,000. They're thrilled. Okay? No losers. Okay, let's evaluate it. Are you profitable? I don't know. What would you have to do in your spare time to make an extra $56,000 a year right now? That is life-changing for people, guys. That makes a difference in people's lives. Number two, are you working smart? Okay, you made something like 6 times as much this month as you did the month before. Did you work 6 times as hard? Did you work 6 times as hard? If you wanted to make 6 times as much at your job, what would you have to do? Could you? Is it even possible? Guys, what happened is you're working exceptionally smart. You have a business now that's possibly expanded into multiple states, and it's growing. And number three, if built correctly, there's no losers. So again, I'm very, very, very proud of this commission structure. And obviously what you're going to see from here is that it goes one more generation. So one more generation pops up. Your buddies all have orange pals, which makes your friends 584, puts you at 4,680. Okay, so let's look at it. Again, what's step one? Step one's load the chart of accounts. Notice there's $117,000 to be split up here, and you're only going to get 200 of that. You do your yellow, you subtract your green, and at this point you're done. You're making, I'll show you what you're making in the middle, but look what actually happens. What actually happens is the orange gets their part, the red gets their part, the green gets their part, the yellow gets your part, and let's look at the summary. There's 585 people in your business. Keep that number in mind. Okay, keep that number in mind, and you're making $250,000 a year. Do I believe that? No. I actually don't know that we're going to average $2,000 per person. Let's say we average $1,000. So that would take maybe 1,000 people. So keep that number in your mind, please. We're going to come back to that. But it's possible. What do most people have available to them to make an extra $250,000 a year? And what did they have to do? Did they hurt anybody? No, they help people. Their friends love them. Their friends are thrilled because they have diversified their income. They didn't have to give up their full-time income. They didn't have to go to work full-time. And guess what's happening here, guys? You're no longer limited to your time, talents, treasures. Who can be part of this business? Everybody. It doesn't matter. You can be a man. You could be a woman. You could be tall, short, skinny, fat, pink, black, blue, educated, non-rich, not Republican, Democrat. We don't care. It's a great level playing field to give everybody a chance. You can be single. You can be married. Any of your backgrounds, you are welcome in this business to be successful, to go into the marketplace, compete and win. And I personally, along with my team, will help you do that. So let's analyze this. By anyone's standards, you are ridiculously profitable at this point. I don't care what your background is, that's fantastic. And it's impossible to say that you're not working hard. At this point, God forbid, you're driving down the road, a semi crosses the line and takes you out and you can't go to work. I worked hard to be a pilot. I fly corporate jets, I get paid very well to do so. If I lose my medical or if I get hurt and I don't show up to fly, my income goes to zero right then. But if I built this business, if you built this business at this point and you have 585 people out there marketing beef and eating beef, and when people eat beef, they buy more beef, and it just is just a big happy family, you have what we call residual income. You have an income that goes on with you or without you, grows with you or without you, because you help people. Because what did you actually do? You didn't harvest beef. You didn't grow beef. What you actually did is you found people who wanted an opportunity, you invested your time, your treasure, your talent to help them succeed, and when you helped them to succeed, you succeeded, and that's a beautiful, beautiful business model. Okay, I'm only going to flash this next one up very, very quickly. 4,681 people, comes out to millions of dollars a year. That's enough of that. Is it going to happen? I believe it will. We're not there yet, so we evaluate by the same standards. Smart business. Okay. Let me really quick show you, that was a perfect world example where everybody grows together. I'm very, very quickly going to show you what it's going to look like. More likely what it's going to look like is you go out and sponsor 8 people. Some are going to kill it. They're going to sell 840 units with their team. They're going to build big teams. They're going to go all over the country. They're going to tear it up. A couple people are going to sit on it and do nothing. Notice how, do you see how it's not even? How each person, it drives your total points down here to 2,021. But do you see how you get to keep everything in yellow that's not green? And you don't really care if it's them personally or if they have a yellow and a blue and a green in them. It's just you, between you and their person. So that's what that looks like. And I want to give you one real world warning. If you get in this business and you sponsor an absolute horse, someone that just takes off and they get huge, if they're the only person you sponsor, you will make nothing off them. You'll always be at the same commission structure they have. So you have to, that's what we say, it rewards those who do the work. This person will be making so much more money than you, it's ridiculous. And that's how we can say that people can make more money, and somebody could get in 5 years from now and make more money than anyone. And that's just the real truth. So here's our Videri disclosure statement. Anytime we show money, we're actually going to show the actual results. At the time of this filming, we haven't actually sold beef. We literally, our website is going up in about 2 hours to start selling beef. So we're pretty excited about that. That's been a very exciting thing. But as we go, we're going to show actual results, not theories. So that's exciting. Let me get this straight. I'm going to summarize this real quick. Beef is a $105 billion industry. It is a massive low-hanging fruit to disrupt it. We have a system in place, a technology in place that can eliminate the middleman, get the product to the customer at a good price. The only thing we need is to drive people to the website that they know about it, that they know that it helps orphans, that they know that it makes a difference, that they know that it does those things. That's where you come in. If you have the courage and the integrity to help drive traffic to the website, you literally could do something once and get paid for it for the rest of your life. Am I saying this is get rich quick? No. Absolutely in no way interpret anything I said as this is easy, because it's change, and change is always hard. There's always a resistance to change. And if you really lack courage, if you don't have the conviction of your the power of your convictions and a spirit to overcome, you will not succeed in this business. If you do not move, you will not succeed. So please do not interpret that I'm saying. But if you do have those things, if you have drive, if you have a vision to see what can be rather than what could be, then welcome aboard. You can be fabulously successful. Because in the end, what is our mission? Bringing hope to a world in need. Number one, we're going to help people be successful business owners. I am passionate about that. And why is that good? It's good for our country because individuals who are good at solid business and profitable can be good stewards. They can help people. They can intercede. I'll tell you, it's a big deal to influence people to be successful. And we are committed. This is a poster that I have hanging in my bedroom. I look at it every morning. I've looked at it for years, first thing every morning. Every time I get scared, every time I get nervous, every time I get tired, every time I get frustrated, I just imagine what it's like to be a child with no home, no protection, everything, and I'm thinking, what if? What if we are successful? And what if 30% of all that stock goes to helping orphans overseas? It's worth it. So that's a lot of attitude to explain the commission structure. I needed to share with you my heart. I've laid all my cards on the table. What you choose to do with it now is totally, completely your free will. But if you want to be part of something great, if you want to be part of some people that know where we're going and why we're going there, we welcome you aboard. Thank you for your time.